Russia invading Ukraine has undoubtedly caused fear and concern among people in Norway and appears to heighten the urgency and tension to the sight of 30,000 NATO troops conducting drills in Norway's far north, which, after all, borders Russia. Although Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr stated in a press release on February 24 that there is no indication the conflict will spread to Norway's neighbouring areas, Norwegian authorities are closely monitoring the situation to ensure that no increased military activity has been observed along their borders with Russia. Given that long-planned NATO drills in Norway are now taking place just miles away from the Russian border in the Arctic, Norway alone has prepared a new military strategy to deter and defeat Russian forces in the event of war by shoring up its northern garrison and investing in its weapons systems such as submarines, stealth fighters, and surface-to-air missiles. However, if Norway has a strong military and fears that Russia is a threat, the question arises: are Norway's efforts to deter Russia enough? Hello everyone, welcome back to Military TV. Today, we're trying to discuss whether or not Norway is capable of deterring Russia. If you're curious about this topic, don't go anywhere and stay tuned. As part of the new strategy to better prepare for war, the Norwegian government projects to add nearly $2 billion to the existing 8-year defense spending plan. In recent years, Oslo has invested around $7 billion per year on its 23,000-person military. With these investments, Norwegian Army's Northern Brigade will be supported with the addition of a battalion consisting of hundreds of troops. Moreover, the Army will receive around 100 new G5 armored personnel carriers from Germany to replace its aging M113s built in the US. The German G5 armored personnel carriers, or armored personnel carrier itself, came up as a concept to modernize a venerable M113. This vehicle can protect against small arms fire and artillery shell splinters. For an even higher level of protection, the add-on armor can be bolted onto the vehicle. More interestingly, this vehicle also has an improved protection that makes it more resistant to mine blasts and improvised explosive devices. On the other hand, the preparation in terms of military weapon upgrade is also bolstered in the Norwegian Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile System. This weapon system, which uses a modified version of IM-120 missile from the US, will be equipped with a new sensor. Further to this, Oslo will purchase a new long-range and short-range air defense systems to supplement the combined force between Army and Air Force of approximately 72 medium-range NASAMS launchers. This NASAMS is specially designed and developed jointly by Raytheon and Kongsberg Defence and Aerospace for the Royal Norwegian Air Force. It features a network-centric, open architecture that offers an increased survivability against electronic countermeasures. The missile system can engage 72 targets simultaneously in active and passive modes. It is also fitted with AMRAAM launchers, a passive electro-optic, infrared sensor, hard real-time communication network, and an embedded and standalone mission planning tool. Beside the new G5 armored personnel carriers mentioned before, the Norwegian Navy is also receiving 4 new Type 212 submarines from Germany, replacing their 6 older vessels. The Type 212 class is a current generation of German submarine, which has a strong reputation as a reliable and advanced submarine. This is primarily due to the submarine's ability to operate at high speed on diesel power or switch to the IIP system for silent slow cruising, allowing it to stay submerged for up to 3 weeks with little exhaust heat. The system is also known to be vibration-free, extremely quiet, and nearly unnoticeable. In addition, it has a highly integrated command and weapons control system that interfaces with sensors, weapons, and navigation systems. These upgrades, therefore, are expected to lengthen the service lives of the Norwegian fleet's 4 Fridtjof Nansen-class frigates and 6 Skjold-class corvettes. However, the fleet will not replace Helgingstad, a fifth frigate which ran aground and sank in 2018. The ship was raised by salvagers, but the government determined that it was not cost-effective to repair it. It is unclear how Norway will make up for the loss of this Helgingstad, leading the US think tank RAND to suggest that it should try. This is mainly because Norway is a major coastal and maritime nation that relies on control of sea lines of communication for both Allied reinforcements as well as economic function. Therefore, according to RAND Corporation, NATO officials even advised Oslo to at least consider purchasing unmanned surface vessels. However, no further decision was made by Norway, leaving this loss a de facto 20% reduction to the fleet's major open ocean surface combatants. Regardless of this issue, in support of effort in new military strategy for deterring Russia, the Norway Air Force also plans to attain 52 units of F-35A stealth fighters to replace its older F-16s, as well as 5 P-8 patrol planes replacing the P-3C. Norway has also decided to invest in NATO's new fleet of up to 9 A330 aerial tankers. However, RAND Corporation urged the Norwegian Defense Ministry to use the F-35 in novel ways. The main reason for this is that the F-35A involves a major advancement not only for Norwegian air power, but also for how situational awareness, low observability, and sensor, as well as data fusion, will enable future operations in all domains. Thus, Allied officials highlighted the significance of Norway continuing to experiment with new concepts, such as linking the aircraft with land and sea-based capabilities, in order to boost the full potential of F-35. Overall, with such efforts in upgrading its military strategy and weapon systems, it seems that Norway is well prepared to deterring Russia. Another interesting point to note is that Norway and Sweden are now joining forces to further strengthen their defense cooperation, while Sweden also considers joining NATO. For these reasons, Norway will be capable of defeating Russia in the event of war. But what do you think? That's all for today. If you find this video is interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons. Or if you have any suggestion about another interesting topic, please let us know in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Good friends, but I don't know why.